Hello, welcome everyone. Good to be here. Another Sunday and another live stream. So great. Thank you for joining and really appreciate it and hope you've had a good week as well. In this week's session, I was hoping to have a guest to join the live stream, but unfortunately, there were no takers for this week. So this week, what we're going to be doing is going back to looking at profiles on online teaching platforms, seeing how well they're doing and seeing what could be done to improve that sort of situation. Anyhow, any questions, please put your comments in and ask your questions in the comments section, and I'll be happy to answer any questions that you may have. Anyhow, let's get started and let's see how things are going. And again, thank you for joining. And let's see, properly first of all, and let me see if I can share my screen, and we'll go here. And first of all, here we go. Hopefully you can see that. Again, let's have a look at English. What's interesting is here you can choose a focus for your online lessons if you wanted. So students can have a look at the focus, and now there's been an update, I guess, something I've not seen recently, and there's business, conversation, language courses, beginners, exam prep, and kids. So if we go for exam prep, for example, we have all these different teachers here, and some super tutors, which are great. And let's choose one. Let's see. Let's choose, well, if there's a particular profile that you want to have a look at, let me know in the comments and we can have a look together. But first of all, let's choose a super tutor. Let's choose Lloyd. And here we've got his introduction video, and you can see his availability during the week. So let's click this. I've not seen it yet.
Hi, I'm Lloyd and I'm from the UK. I have a CELTA qualification from Cambridge, which means I can teach English to all nationalities and all levels.
Okay, so very good introduction. Quite an interesting background that he's got. But he's straight into it, smiles at the camera, looks at the camera, which is great. So let's continue with this.
I can help you with any part of the English you are struggling with.
Yeah.
From pronunciation to reading and writing, but most importantly, everyday English. My lessons are based on what you want to learn and how you want to learn it. So I try and teach in ways that you are going to find interesting and therefore effective.
Okay, so he obviously has scripted out what he wants to say, what he wants to talk about, and you can see that he's looking to the side at the side of the camera from time to time, which is fine. But a good explanation about what he can do, how he can help students with everyday English, which is great.
I love using authentic materials in my classes, from books to films, TV shows to blogs and social media.
Yeah.
This way, you'll be learning English that people use in the real world, and therefore you can use it too.
So quite a good distinction that he's making between what could be considered a way of teaching a curriculum, localized language, something which is contained within the classroom, but he's trying to bring out the authenticity and real world into the classroom, which is great. And it certainly does help when you get tutors and students learning about the real world and how English is really used. So quite a good distinction and quite a good introduction video so far.
I want you to feel confident speaking English. And so, if you want to learn in a fun and natural way with me, where you do the talking, then come and join me for an online class today.
So call to action right at the end. Really good to see that he is quite keen to share his passion and, the cool, I'll see you in the classroom soon, or that sort of thing. Okay, we've got Maria here, and Maria says, "Hello, Martin. Thank you for all. Thank you for last Sunday. You're very welcome, and thank you for joining again this week in this live stream. If you've got any questions, please don't hesitate to ask." Okay, right. So that's the first profile done with Lloyd. Let's read a little bit more, and you can see a nice comment. Lloyd is a fantastic tutor, good teaching style, very enthusiastic, competent, supportive. Yeah. So, what I liked about his introduction video was that you could see that he was quite keen and quite passionate about teaching and learning languages. So that's wonderful to see. Right, I'm going to look at another language now, and let me just bring back. So here you can see, I'll go back and let's choose Korean. Yeah. And conversation, I suppose. Okay, so first one that we've got here is Hina. Very interesting, 20 years of experience, based in Canada. Oh, we've got a super tutor here. Okay. So let's have a listen to the
Hello
introduction.
everyone, it is very nice to meet you all. My name is Haekyung Park and I was born and raised in Korea. I became interested in learning English when I was an elementary.
Okay, so she's obviously introducing herself in English, holding the camera because it's slightly wobbly from time to time, but really good to see a nice introduction video, and quite genuine.
Elementary school kid. My brother got me a cassette tape. It was one of Backstreet Boys' albums. That was a new world for me, and I started to listening to pop songs every day. And I ended up choosing English as my major. I know some of you might like K-pop and became interested in learning Korean, like I did with English. I think music is a great tool to learn a new.
Okay, so she's obviously introducing her reason for learning English and the background to that, and then she makes a distinction and the connection that obviously nowadays, with a lot of Korean being more and more popular, particularly with relation to K-pop and that sort of thing, and the exposure Korea's getting now, it's really interesting to see that she's made that connection, that distinction. And usually, I guess some people are very interested in learning Korean because of K-pop and the culture that's been exported abroad as well.
New language. I can help you to get better understanding of some songs you like. If you're not into K-pop, it is okay. We can talk anything you want.
Yeah.
Just for your reference, I love music, movies, travels,
Yeah.
history, philosophy, and listening to other life stories.
Okay, so really interesting. Yeah, she says, okay, if you're not into K-pop, then we can do something else. Right, it's a 2-minute introduction video. It's a bit long, a bit wobbly, but while she's holding it, and as quite a nice comment as well. I've had such for the past years. It's patient friendly. Okay, so a nice review from one of our students, which is great. Let's have a look at this introduction video. Let's see.
Bonjour, 안녕하세요.
Okay. All right, so she's just said hello in Korean to everyone. Let's continue.
Je enseigne tout diplômé de coréen. 저는 한국어 선생님이에요. J'ai de l'expérience pour tous les niveaux et spécialisé pour les débutants.
Okay, so she says she's a teacher and that sort of thing. So really interesting that she's introducing herself in Korean. Not many people would really understand. Let's have a listen back.
Je suis enseignante diplômée de
Jusan.
coréen. 저는 한국어 선생님이에요. J'ai de l'expérience pour tous les niveaux et spécialisé pour les débutants. 저랑 같이 한국어 공부해요. N'hésitez pas à réserver. Au revoir.
She's mixing French and Korean, which is really interesting. There was some words which I couldn't pick up when she was talking. So obviously she's combining some French because she speaks French, but also some predominantly Korean. And she was obviously saying there, nice to meet you, and I'm a teacher, and let's study together, sort of thing. Anyway, another comment from Maria. Wonderful to see you're here helping all of us preply teachers. So splendid what you do. Congratulations. And thanks so much for being lucky to have found you and received your help. You're very welcome. Yeah, it's quite nice to do this each week. Let's see if there are any other questions. I did put a post up on Facebook about this live stream, but not been able to see any questions just yet. Anyhow, really nice to have everybody join in. Let's try and choose a different language. Well, actually, maybe not even a language. We could choose something completely different. So, for example, music. This will be quite interesting. So let me just share my tab again. So bear with me. I'll bring it back up. So in this case, I've brought up people that want to learn music. So really good. We've got guitarists, we've got singers. I've not looked at this before, so really interesting. Now, for those that are unaware, I also play the saxophone. So let's see if there's any saxophonists here. Okay, come play saxophone with me. I wonder how this works, because I've always learned how to play the saxophone with the person in front of me and playing with people, but I've never learned or never taken any lessons online about playing music. So I'm wondering how that works. I'm really curious, but let's have a look at the first lady here. So Veronica F from, where is she from? Argentina. Okay.
Hi, my name is Veronica. Hola, mi nombre es Veronica. Ciao, io sono Veronica. I am a music teacher and saxophone player from Argentina. I currently live in Italy. I have an arts in music degree and a specialization in musical interpretation. I have 15 years of experience teaching from kids in kindergarten to adults in bachelor programs.
Wow. Okay. Really interesting that she introduced herself in 3 languages, I think. English, Portuguese, and Spanish, I think. But yeah, really interesting. And the fact that she's a professional and has experience teaching music to a range of different students, different ages, and that sort of thing. So really interesting.
With me, you will learn everything that has to do with technique and theory. But most of all,
That's great.
I like to focus on breathing, relaxation, and being respectful with our bodies.
Okay.
We can discuss your needs and expectations in a trial lesson. I can teach you in Spanish, English, and Italian.
Okay,
I'm waiting for you.
Okay, so really interesting that she's included a video of her playing as well, which not many people have. When it comes down to teaching, it's nice to have an image or some video footage of you teaching, so people can see how you're teaching. So when it comes down to your introduction video, try and include something which students could relate to or demonstrates you what you're offering to online students. And I've just realized that she introduced herself in English, Portuguese or Spanish, and Italian, of course. Anyway, let's continue. Very good. And alto saxophone. I'm more of a tenor saxophonist myself, but yeah, really interesting to hear her play. Does it carry on? Yeah, it just keeps going until the end. And that's it. Yeah. Okay, so really interesting. Let's see if there's anyone else. Wow, someone who's $25 per hour. Let's have a look at this introduction video.
Hello, my name is George Pedraza, and I'm an English international online teacher. I grew up speaking two languages, English and Spanish. I am currently living in Brazil, and I have taught English for over 7 years, both in private schools and individually in the United States, Bolivia, and Brazil.
Okay, so although he's got a profile for music, he's obviously sharing his technique of teaching English as well, which is great. Let's see how this continues.
Business English, conversational
Business
English,
English,
pronunciation, and I also help people prepare for any and all international English language exams.
Okay.
I also teach Spanish, Portuguese, saxophone, piano, and guitar. When I create my lessons, the main focus is always the student. I build my lessons around the needs and goals established by the
It's a really engaging, interesting profile. And yeah, Portuguese, wow. Come and learn Portuguese. Let's see if I can find Maria's profile, and then I'll share it on the comments. So if you want to learn Portuguese, go and study with Maria. But let me just have a look, first of all. Okay, yes, I do have her profile. So again, for those that joined me last week, let me just share a new screen. And this is Maria's profile. And so here we are. For those that want to study Portuguese, go and study with Maria. It was really, really interesting to learn a little bit of Portuguese with Maria. So here's Maria's profile. There we go. Let's see. Good. There we are. Right. Yeah. So Maria's taught nearly 1,000 classes. So have a look into studying Portuguese with her. Right. So we're back to other profiles now, and let's have a look at another. Oh, I've just found one teacher of the saxophone. Be really interesting to look at this one because he plays the tenor saxophone, which is the saxophone that I end up playing. So this one right down the end, Antonio from Argentina. Yeah. So let's have a look.
Hello, my name is Antonio Alvarez. I am a professional musician with a degree in film scoring, and I am here to solve your musical inquiries. I mainly teach saxophone, but I do also play and teach piano, guitar, and bass. My course focuses mainly on technique, ear development, and improvisation.
Okay, so he's also got the same sort of mouthpiece that I have for my saxophone, a gold metal mouthpiece. Most saxophonists start off playing with a hard rubber black mouthpiece, and they either continue using a variety of black hard rubber mouthpieces, or they progress onto a metal mouthpiece, which creates that louder, more powerful tone when you're playing. Anyhow.
I do also teach theory and analysis in a wide range of genre, from classical music to jazz, to Latin music and funk and pop music and electronic music. Actually, I'm yet to find a musical style that I dislike. So I hope that you find this to be of your interest and would like to have me as your musical guide. Thank you very much.
Is he going to play? Yes, he is. Go on. Really good. Okay, nice. Anyway, any other questions? Please post your questions up in the chat. I'll be happy to answer any questions you got about English teaching, online teaching, anything else like that. That would be wonderful. And we got Maria here, says thanks, you're very welcome. Great to see you again, Maria. Okay, let's have a look elsewhere. And recently, let's go to another page. So just bear with me. I'm just looking at some websites. Right. Ooh. Yeah, there's a nice blog post here from Jennifer, and she's also an English teacher. And let me just share this very quickly. So here we've got a blog post about using the past perfect had plus past participle, or verb 3. Yeah, so we've got, I hadn't thought of that and I didn't think of that before. So quite an interesting example between the past simple and the past perfect. Example 1A being the past perfect and example 1B being the past simple. And it's quite interesting when it comes down to the different uses of the past perfect. And here Jennifer says often, yes, plenty of English speakers rely on simple past and use time expressions to clarify. So, you know, I didn't think of that before, rather than I hadn't thought of that. Now, obviously, the past perfect can be quite challenging for students when you're teaching students. It's probably one of the most difficult grammar forms to teach and also for students to acquire and use effectively. So when it comes down to the past perfect, there's not really much focus given to it from my experience. A lot of focus is given between the past simple and the present perfect. Other than that, that's the only thing that we tend to focus on: present simple, past simple, present perfect. Not much focus given on the past perfect, but that's by the by. Anyway, Martin, thank you so much for putting my profile on here. And today, here is wonderful. Many teachers speak Portuguese, and it was talked about where I live, Brazil. Very good, thank you. Oh, you're very welcome. And thank you for sharing, Maria, last week's live stream. And it was great to have you on, and great to see you here. Anyhow, yeah, understanding perfect, past perfect. And this post here, let me just share the link for anyone that's interested. So today's, bear with me, today's blog post, and I'll put it in the comments. And okay, so you can see I've just put in the link for Jennifer's post, and at the bottom here we've got a PDF version of a document of understanding the past perfect, really useful to share with students, and quite nice for them to refer to, some nice tasks for students to complete and that sort of thing. So really good website or blog post to refer to, anyhow. Okay, so any other questions? Please put a comment in the comments, or put your question in the comments rather, and I'll be happy to answer any questions that you may have. Obviously, last week was IA TEFL in Belfast, I think it was. So let me have a look. There was a conference, an international conference for language learning, language education, and that sort of thing. So if I just share my screen quickly, you'll see. And about 10 years ago, I was involved with probably about 12 years ago or so, I was involved with ITEFL, and I actually gave a talk at a conference up in Glasgow about my MA thesis and shared the results of my thesis, and that sort of thing. Maria says, come and learn Portuguese in Preply. Yep, absolutely. So if you're interested in learning Portuguese, go ahead and book a lesson with Maria's Preply. I've already included Maria's profile here, so just have a look in the chat, and you're more than welcome to book Portuguese lessons. Definitely recommend it, and it was great to have it last week. Anyhow, the international conference ITEFL, if we go here, it's an international association for teachers of English as a foreign language, and it's there to help support teachers, and it's really great to have that sort of association. If we go back, you can see last week they held their first conference in about 2 years or so because of the pandemic, and it was quite difficult. So I think 2 years or 3 years, no conference was held, and I think last year's conference had to be postponed until this year, but this year's was the first conference in a number of years of no conference being held. And my experience with the ITEFL conference is it's a great way to connect up with new teachers. It's great to share ideas and get ideas, practical ideas for teaching, and also focus on certain aspects of English teaching. And you get to meet new people, you get to meet the movers and shakers of English language teaching, and it's great. And obviously they had a sort of a promotional video lined up. So let's have a quick look. Yeah, I've never been to Belfast, actually. Would like to go and visit. And you can see sort of a place where they were having their association or their conference. It looks really good. And based on some of the people that I know that went there or had talks, it was great to see that renewed interest in ITEFL, because it's been they've obviously not held the conference for a number of years due to the pandemic. So it was really good to see that this conference is back, and when it's closer to home, I suppose Brighton or London or somewhere else next year. Not sure where it will be held next year, but hopefully I'll be able to attend the conference and get to attend some of the talks and presentations. That'll be good. But I wonder where ITEFL 2023 is. Let's have a look. Future conference. Already got it here. So let me see. Past and future. Just link in and reload. Okay, well, 2021 was virtual. 2019 was the last in-person conference. 2018 was in Brighton. 2020 was not there because of the pandemic. So the future one is in Harrogate in April, and in 2024, venue and dates to be confirmed. So it'd be quite nice. Harrogate. I'll have to try and make a trip up to Harrogate next year and go and attend the conference. It would be great to see all the same people that I used to be. And this was the one that I ended up giving my talk at 2012. And I think in 2010 it was held in Brighton, so I was able to support and volunteer, provide support for ITEFL. So if you're an English language teacher or you're involved in the teaching of English as a foreign language, I would definitely recommend joining this association, because it's really, really useful. You get invited to a number of conferences and talks, and there's special interest groups. So certain groups within ITEFL which focus on either technology or teacher training or learner autonomy or that sort of thing. So here's ITEFL. And obviously there's certain associations around the world which are English teaching associations within countries. So, for example, there's COTESL, the Korean Association for Teachers of English as Foreign Language, and thankfully now, because of the development of technology and how everybody was pushed to teach online or to deliver conferences and talks online, there's been more opportunity for those that aren't in a particular country to be able to give a talk virtually. And so for one talk that I gave, it was for COTESL, and let's see if I can find their website. So here we are. Bear with me. I'll bring it up, and here's the website. So it's teachers of English as second teachers of English to speakers of other languages, and it's an association within Korea. Definitely recommend for those that are based in Korea to perhaps become a volunteer or a member and join this group, because they have a range of different events. So if we have a look at the events, so in 2022, you got the Yongin COTESL June 2022 event, Gwangju Jongnam workshop July. There's a sort of a presentation. And then there's certain chapters. So chapters are those within certain regions within Korea. So you got the Daegu Gyeongbok chapter, and they hold different events, English language teaching events. They hold workshops. Here are workshops for 2021, but you could see each month there are a range of different events being organized. So if you're in a particular region, then don't have a think about joining COTESL, because it'd be great to get involved with English language teaching associations, volunteer, share your experience of teaching, and if you're in Daegu, join the Daegu Gyeongbok chapter. It really helps you connect with other teachers within different environments. So those within a university may connect with other tutors or associate professors within universities, or you've got someone who's teaching in a private language school that wants to get involved within a university, and you're building that connection, that bridge, and would definitely help. They also have a job board, so definitely recommend for those that are interested. They regularly post jobs, and it's good to keep an eye on that. They also have their own publications, different newsletters, and that sort of thing. So it's really, really good association to get involved with. But if there's any associations in your country, then go ahead and join that one as well. Right. Any final comments before we finish off today's live stream? Again, any questions that you have, post them in the comments. I'll be happy to answer any questions that you have. And let's have a look at if there's been anything posted up on Facebook or anything like that. Nope, nothing there. Right. Well, let's see if there's any final blog posts. We've already looked at Jennifer's blog. Well, there was one post which I was really interested in, and this was from Pete Clements. Again, very good language teacher, someone that I've had the pleasure of working with, and he was talking about being a materials writer and having a conversation or email correspondence with a publishing house. And so I found this sort of imaginary conversation between a publishing house and a materials writer freelance quite humorous, to say the least. And he's talking about, dear Peter, thanks for confirming your availability for our project. Hope to get started early next year. So early next year. I'll get back to you once we have more details within the next week or two max. Anyway, thanks for the response. All sounds great. And then January the 4th. Happy New Year. Just checking about the project we discussed back in November. February, again, Pete sends another email. What's happening? Basically, it's been a few months. So we're moving forward. February again, checking everything's all prepared, all ready. March continues. March, April, April the 17th, and then May the 4th, May the 5th. So from January, the editor or imaginary editor ends up replying, 5 months later. I've been contacting freelancers about the project since around late March. You're also writing that there was miscommunication between us when I said I would get back to you within a couple of weeks. What I meant to say was that I'll contact you if no one better shows an interest in the project. And it continues and continues. Yeah, and I found this quite interesting. I guess quite close to the reality of being approached by material publishing houses if you're involved with creating materials. Anyhow, really useful website, really good person to refer to, because his website, if I may, ELT Planning, is very resourceful. He's got a range of great ideas, and he's also published as well. So he's a recognized publisher, author for ELT material, English language teacher material. So here's his website. So definitely recommend having a look at his website and as I mentioned, I used to work with him, and it was a pleasure to push him to start running his own blog and website. Anyhow, we're going to call it a day today. I think that's about it. But thank you ever so much for everybody who came along and joined today's live stream. If you have any questions, then please post a question up in the chat. If you want to be a participant in next week's live stream, then please let me know. Get in touch and send me an email, or comment below, and we'll try and get you on the live stream. Again, apologies for the guest who was meant to join, but they had more pressing matters. So thank you ever so much. And we've got Maria, who was here last week. So thank you ever so much. Right, well, take it easy. Have a good week, and don't work too hard. Next week is going to be quite an interesting week, I guess, because you've got the Queen's Platinum Jubilee coming up. So quite a big event in England. Anyhow, have a good week. Stay safe and happy teaching. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.